Nobody's in my door.
Something's
That's not
happening.
my door. Hold on. Loser, was that all I heard?
All right to start?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll call our meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Seaside, Park County, Ocean State of New Jersey, held on Thursday, July 27th, 2023, advertised to begin at the conclusion of the work session, which has now just ended. Pursuant to the provisions of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was properly provided by transmitting a notice of the meeting for publication in the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger on January 4th, 2023. Notice of the meeting of the governing body has been posted in the corridor of the municipal building and in the office of the municipal clerk. Roll call.
Councilmember Abigail.
Present.
Councilmember Condos. Here. Councilmember Kraft.
Here.
Councilmember Dr. McHugh.
Yes, here.
Councilmember Welk.
Here.
Council President Michael.
Here.
Mayor Peterson.
Here. Let us all now rise for a moment of silence to be followed by a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Those are the July 13th, 2023 work session and the July 13th, 2023 regular meeting. Any questions, comments, or if not, any motions?
I'll make a motion.
Motion for approval by Councilmember Abigail,
Second.
second by Councilmember Condos. Roll call.
Councilmember Abigail.
Yes.
Councilmember Condos.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft.
Yes.
Councilmember Welk.
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. McHugh.
I'm going to abstain over here.
Council President Michael.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next are ordinances. We have final reading and adoption ordinance 2023, amending Chapter 405 of the Code of the Borough of Seaside Park entitled Streets and Sidewalks. And specifically, this follows up on past discussion and recommendations in terms of the personnel for inspecting and enforcing the ordinances related thereto.
Yes, Mayor, it just basically changes it to, so that it goes through zoning and then code enforcement would inspect the, curb and curb cut. That's basically just change it to include the inspection.
Very good. Anything else from council further? If not, we'll go into the audience for final reading, adoption ordinance 2023. If there's any public comments, hearing none, I would close the public hearing and I'd consider a motion from council for adoption, final reading of the ordinance.
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Council President DeMichael,
Second.
second by Councilmember Dr. McHugh. Roll call.
Council President Michael.
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. McHugh.
Yes.
Councilmember Welk.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft.
Yes.
Councilmember Condos.
Yes.
Councilmember Abigail.
Yes.
Motion approved.
And additionally, in the ordinance section, we have an add-on, a first reading, ordinance 2023-08. It's an ordinance of the Borough of Seaside Park, County, Ocean State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of Seaside Park so as to amend Chapter 65 entitled Police Department, and that entails an alternate route program to be adopted considering potential future hire as per recommendation from closed personnel session. Is there any questions, comments? This is first reading. If not, a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Wilk,
Second.
second by Council President DeMichael. Roll call.
Councilmember Welch.
Yes.
Council President Michael.
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. McHugh.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft.
Yes.
Councilmember Condos.
Yes.
Councilmember Abigail.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next on the agenda are authorizations. The first is 10th Avenue Block Party, date August 5th, 2023, rain date August 6th, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., location 10th Avenue. Any questions, comments?
You have a comment.
Yes.
Your Honor.
the insurance, the liability insurance, does not cover the rain date that he states. I texted Chuck when I saw that this afternoon, and he indicated that should the rain date become needed, that he would call the insurance company and change it to the correct date. He said it's really a one-day policy, and right now, it's just for the main date, which is the 5th. So he said he would take care of it, changing it to the 6th, should a rain date be necessary. So, I don't know how you want to handle that.
I think that would seem to be an added condition of approval, just
Yeah.
to make sure it's done appropriately.
But he probably wouldn't be doing that until Friday before.
Yeah.
It'd have to be on the fly.
Any other questions, comments, or if not, is there a motion?
Motion to accept, Mayor, with that condition.
Motion by Council President DeMichael with the condition just referenced.
Second?
Second by Councilmember Kraft. Roll call?
Council President DeMichael?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos? Yes. Councilmember Dr. McHugh?
Yes.
Councilmember Welk?
Yes.
Councilmember Ramaville?
Yes.
Motion approved.
The second authorization on the agenda, as per the work session item, it's my understanding that based on a number of questions raised, including in particular the fact that the waiver would not be appropriate, the waiver date of September 30th, it's my understanding that we authorize our administrator to reach out to the event sponsors for some options and also to address certain questions and issues. And as such, we contemplated carrying this application for further discussion on the next meeting, and that is Thursday, August 10th? Thursday, August 10th. So it seems to be everybody's, there were a number of questions raised. Do we need to have a motion just to carry this discussion for the...
I'll make a motion to
to
carry it
August
over.
10th? With the questions raised. A motion by Council President DeMichael, seconded by Councilmember Dr. McHugh. Roll call.
Thank you. Council President DeMichael?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. McHugh?
Yes.
Councilmember Welk?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos? Yes. Councilmember Ramaville?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Mayor, I would just suggest that maybe your administrator should let them know that September 30 is definitely a date that cannot be used, so they know.
Oh, very good.
Thank you.
Next is payment of claims, 223-211, payment of claims, a bill list from July 14th, 2023 to July 27th, 2023. Any questions, comments, or if not, any motion?
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
I'll second that.
And motion by Councilmember Kraft, seconded by Councilmember Wilk. Roll call?
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Welk?
Yes.
Councilmember Ramaville?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos? Yes. Councilmember Dr. McHugh?
Yes.
Council President DeMichael?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next are the resolution agenda. I'll read in summary fashion. 212, designating members of the Seaside Park Volunteer Fire Company, Fire Department rather. 213, approving the adoption of the revised employee handbook for the Borough of Seaside Park. 214, appointing seasonal employees for the Department of Beach Patrol. 215, authorizing the American Littoral Society to provide professional services for the development of an SAV mitigation plan for the Bayfront Restoration Project. 216, amending Resolution 2023-30, which provides for a 10-day grace period for the payment of taxes during the year 2023. 217, appointing a police officer for the Borough of Seaside Park. 218, authorizing T&M Engineering a proposal for professional services for the concept plan for 13th Avenue Ball Softfield Field concept plan and construction costs. Any questions, comments from any council member on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I was just going to comment, I'm fine with it, but as far as the employee handbook, I just wanted to acknowledge the work that went into that, not only by our labor attorneys, but Karen facilitating us through many iterations of edits. It was not easy because I think we all had many, and it's still voluminous, so maybe someday we'll have a little mini version. but I think it was really a good collaborative effort. Thank you.
Agreed. Yep, thank you.
Thank
Thank you, June.
I agree.
And Council President DeMichael
Well,
also.
just that we received some letters of reference to some of these folks, and it's being pushed back to the fire department on this. I'd like to see the actual results of this that we're approving. Are you guys following me on that?
No, I'm not.
When they do these checks on people, we got a letter about each of them, but it's being pushed back to, the findings are gonna be put back to the chief of the fire department. Before approving it, I'd like to see the findings myself personally. Just saying.
You want to see the
No, I just wanna
criminal
just put it out.
background investigation?
Well, if we're approving it, we should be the ones reviewing it. I mean, I'm sure they're all fine, but I just think that there's a misstep there that if you're gonna relay it to somebody and be evasive about the actual findings, I find that a
Fire.
little inappropriate. So if we're making the authorization, we should have those findings in our possession, just as a matter of procedure. So it's just a comment.
And are there any deadlines in terms of going
No,
to
that's fine.
schools or something? Are you suggesting we can carry it? or-
Yes, I think we should, but I just think in the future that when they put that together for us to review, if we're the ones making the authorization, then we should have a complete understanding of what their findings are. They should say, everything's beautifully done, thank you very much, have a nice day, instead of saying we're dumping it somewhere else, that takes it out of our hands. You understand what I'm saying, Ellen? Did you read what it said?
Yes.
I just feel like that we should have those findings. If we're doing the authorization, provide me with the findings. Don't pass it down the street over here to somebody else. I want them. If you want my vote, I want the findings.
No, I think,
Is that,
I think it's not unreasonable. I think when we're in the realm of labor, they probably can be made available for any one of us to
Right.
review. Whether it should be copied or distributed is a different
yeah,
matter.
individually, right.
So it
But
could
just
be
the
looked
language.
at, should be, and you make a good point.
Yeah, just because the language is like, well, we're gonna refer it down we're gonna
Yeah,
kick the can to somebody else, and then it's a little evasive from us being the authority making the decision and the authorization.
It's my first time seeing this, but I mean, having had the recommendation, I guess when I read it, I didn't feel like I needed more only because they're volunteers as far as I know.
That's why I said I wasn't really
And the police
commenting.
department ran whatever background checks were, I guess, required so that the fire department themselves could decide if they wanted to appoint them to these positions, right?
That would seem like what they're saying, but the reality is that the findings should be clear to us who are making the authorization. So you should just say the findings show that there's no issue, and that's it, done.
I don't even know why we have to authorize membership.
I was
Fire
gonna say, you know,
department.
I've done this,
No, I'm just saying the way the letter was read. I'm not trying to make this into a big.
I agree, I understand what you're saying, I'm just saying, I've never, this is my first time that this is the
Well,
volunteer
it's
fire
in-
company, but do we have to accept it?
well, no, it's not unreasonable, but I mean, a lot of people have been, maybe not, brought into the fire company, but I don't really remember voting on this, in the past. On
No, yeah,
the fire company, I mean, other employees, but the volunteers.
No, we do, we acknowledge them,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I don't recall.
And I think that it's fantastic, and I'm not in any way going down, I just feel like the way that this letter is being written, it's, coming to us, or being provided to us as, we've done X, Y, and Z, but we're gonna pass it to somebody else to decide if it's acceptable. And I don't like that, I think that's the wrong course of us. I think you should show us that everything's good, and just include us in that, or at least include you or whoever. That's all, just a procedural thing, I think it's important.
in terms of our suggestion that we consider it on the next meeting, is that?
Well, no, I just think, just for purposes of what everyday
Future
procedure
type
stuff,
actions?
you're putting together an investigation and you're saying the findings were relayed to somebody else regarding it, and that's all that said. There's no indication of what the findings were. You should be giving us the confidence that the findings were clear, and this is a wonderful thing, or whatever it is. Like, that's what this, do you understand what I'm saying? An attachment to something we're acknowledging and authorizing, it should be clear that your findings were good.
So does the language which says, whereas the borough's fire chief recommends them?
It doesn't
I
say
mean,
that at all.
it says it in the resolution, the third whereas.
That's fine.
So they applied for membership, they passed well, I shouldn't say they passed, they did a background check, and that was provided to the fire chief, and the fire chief is recommending them and asking the borough to authorize them as members. I mean, I don't even know how we have to authorize membership to a volunteer fire company, but maybe that's.
No, actually,
It's probably for the insurance,
That's not
okay,
my
gotcha, all right, thank
That's
you for
not my
that
point.
explanation.
No, yeah, it's not.
That's not my point. That's not my
And
point.
second, and second, that I do remember, fire police and stuff, we do, well, I guess we just haven't had any members for a while. Maybe that's-
We don't do it with class
So
one.
I would like to see them
I
before
just,
you
for the future, I
authorize.
think anytime there's that course being taken on any employee, any volunteer, anybody regarding the borough's representation in any parts, we should be provided that that's an actual,
That's
you
why I
know,
say.
process that's done correctly and that we are okay with it. Not to give it to somebody else. to make a decision. We had issues in the past that needed to be, it needs to be resolved so we don't ever run into a problem.
Good.
All right, I'm done.
No, thank you.
Sorry.
No.
I got
Any
it.
other questions, comments on any
Are we
resolution
not?
from the council? If,
Can I ask one thing I didn't ask before? How are we with the loan? Were we able to manage to, were we able to, salvage that, grant for the Bayfront?
this is
This is part of what we're working on.
part of it, but it's not, this isn't directly to FEMA.
But
No.
it's still not.
It's still not
It's still.
denied, still not
Still
granted.
mayor's working on it, right? We put
Yeah.
an authorization.
He was part of it,
Right.
but we got, he knew contacts.
Right. I think he's
It's the
in touch with Deborah
FEMA.
Tort to make sure we don't lose the USDA.
All right, so that.
Well, that's a
I
different
mean, that's,
one, yeah.
right.
Okay, just asking. Thank you, sorry.
Any other questions, comments from council on any resolutions? It's not required by law, but it's our practice to also allow any public comments on any resolutions if there are any. If anyone has them, could they give their name and address? Hearing none, I'll close the public portion, and unless I hear otherwise from council, I consider it as a consent agenda.
Yeah, so moved.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft,
I'll second it.
second by Councilmember Wilk. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Welch,
Yes.
Councilmember Condos,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. McHugh,
Yes.
Councilmember Abigail,
Yes.
Council President DeMichael,
Yes.
motion approved.
That concludes the resolution, the written agenda. Is there anything further from council at this juncture?
This is what I started to say before. Yeah, I do have something.
Yes.
I was taking a look at the tax rates today, and as you may have already discovered, that the tax rate had gone up more than I would have liked to have seen. And it was mostly due to the Ocean County tax going up 4.5 cents. District school tax went up 1.3 cents, so we ended up, Central Regional went down 1.7 cents, our local municipal went up 1.6 cents, so the overall hit is 5.7 cents per $100 of assessed evaluation. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention in case you haven't discovered it yet.
Thank you, Bill. Any-
Did you want that repeated, June? So-
I didn't hear what he said for the final.
The final number overall is a 5.7 cent increase.
Thank you.
And you referenced the Ocean County? What was the Ocean County?
Ocean County, that's the biggest hitter, that was 4.5 cents, which is a 10.7% increase.
Thank you.
Our local tax here went up 2.8%. Regional school tax went down 3.2%, so, but the biggest hitter was Ocean County.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments from council on any issues? Before we ask for any public comments, I certainly think all of us want to join and congratulate everyone on the 125th anniversary committee and the Historical Society, the Borough crew, all the volunteers, Joe Toth and Recreation, and Eric, and enlisted a whole host of people, and it turned out to be a great success. All of us were there, and you can't describe what a wonderful upbeat feeling that everyone had, and the dancing, which went on throughout the activity, all through the band. It was great, lively, a lot of families there from far and wide, a big crowd, and everybody seemed to have a wonderful, wonderful time. So I think a lot of congratulations go out to everyone involved.
It was a big success. I mean, I was shocked, honestly, that there was that many people there and the food truck lines were so long.
We need more food
Nobody
trucks.
was complaining, like everybody was happy.
Yeah,
Right, that, more food trucks.
more food trucks.
Yeah. I think also the fact that we didn't charge people to go, like some food truck festivals do. I know like Bob Lett, when they do their food truck festival, it's like $5, you get a wristband, lets you even go in, so. I mean, the fact that people could just come and sit on lawn chairs and listen to music and buy nothing was a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
Thanks, yeah.
So, it was great.
and the weather was cooperative. It was not too hot. Sounds true.
It's a nice night.
Mayor,
Yes, Dr. McKee?
may I acknowledge somebody, please?
Sure.
We just passed a resolution hiring a new officer, and Jonathan Buss. And if you just come in and let everybody see who you are, I want to congratulate you because you.
Not allowed to be
Thank you, I just want
Yeah,
to drop it
great call.
in. Thank you.
Nice.
And thank you, Jonathan. I have a feeling that there'll be a more formal acknowledgement and award very soon.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that you go through the paperwork process at this point, the bureaucracy and all that, which you're doing and will successfully complete very soon. So congratulate you and your department, and you're already one of us, so we welcome you doubly and thank you for your service. Any other council input, comments? If not, I'll go into the audience for any public comments. If anyone has any, if they could give their name and address. Hearing, yes, Mitch?
This will be quick. Regarding the party last weekend, I think it was great, and I'm going to ask a general question. The revenue we got from the food trucks, I guess they pay us for parking, did that pay for the band? Did it cover it?
I don't know if they have to
In other words, was it revenue and cost neutral?
I don't know.
That was the hope that that the payments that we received from the vendors would mostly cover the expense, but I don't think we have the final numbers yet.
But
That was
it was intended to
that was
cover.
the
My
intent.
point being, it was such a success, we ought to consider a town block party of that nature next year. It doesn't have to be to
I've
celebrate.
heard that more than once.
We've
Okay, well, that's all I was-
discussed
An
that.
annual event would be great, right?
Yeah.
Like an annual event, just like that, like
Same
almost
thing.
like that, an annual
Yeah.
event.
Party.
It would be great, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mitch. Any other public questions or comments? Yes, Joanne?
Joanne Penn, 208 Cape Court. I'd like to take a point of personal privilege to acknowledge a former councilwoman from my neighborhood, my dear friend and neighbor, Sue Madey, who passed away just recently. There will be a mass tomorrow at 10 o'clock at St. Catherine's for her. Sue was unique. I'm just going to put it that way. I think anybody that knew her knew that she was a unique person, caring and loving, and very much a part of this community.
She's a lot of fun, too.
Yeah,
I just want to acknowledge.
very wonderful person, and a lot of us were
Yeah.
fortunate enough to serve up here with her for many years as well.
Acted with the garden club for many years, yeah.
Any other public questions or comments? Yes.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council members, Borough Attorney, Borough Clerk. My name is Kathy LaFaro. My mom has owned a house on 9th Avenue since 1976. She's 93 years old. I have power of attorney for her, so I can't speak for her at this public forum. I'm her caregiver. As such, it's my duty and responsibility to make sure she's safe, make sure her property is safe. We were concerned a few weeks ago about a repeatedly unattended open fire, a fire pit on a neighbor's property. Property abuts my mom's property. Property line is full of scrub pines. Our back deck, it's an old house, our back deck is wood. There were embers flying all over the place on numerous occasions, unattended. So I'm here really to commend your code enforcement department. They were very patient with me. They explained municipal code, gave me the exact code, 38, blah, 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 whatever it was. Chapter 338-47A4. I know a lot of people only come to council meetings to complain. The reason I know that is because I have firsthand experience. I was a councilwoman in Fort Lee, New Jersey, Bergen, for 12 years. Certainly a lot nicer here at a council meeting than it is in Fort Lee. But I have to specifically acknowledge Jeff Schwartz, Alexa, Jane, John Anderson. They suggested, they all told me to file a complaint. I did. It was taken care of very, very quickly, to our great satisfaction. And now I can sleep at night and not worry that the house is going to burn down. They're very knowledgeable, respectful, professional, and you should all be very proud of them. They did a great job. I don't know which of you is the council liaison to code
That
enforcement.
would be me.
Please tell them they did a great job. You're lucky that you have such great employees.
We are very fortunate.
Yeah, you're also really lucky to have a volunteer fire department, let me tell you that too. We have one in Fort Lee, and it's not easy to find volunteers any longer. So instead of coming up here like most people to complain about something, I just came to say something good. It's not easy to keep everybody happy at the same time. Been there, done that. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public questions or comments? Hearing none, unless there's anything further from council, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment. Motion by Councilmember Kraft,
Second.
second by Councilmember Condos. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. McHugh?
Yes.
Council President DeMichael?
Yes.
Thank everybody for coming out. Have a good weekend shortly.